Not every exercise is suitable for every person. Be sure to consult with your physician before starting, stopping, or changing an exercise program. All participants of this or any exercise program assume the inherent risk of injury due to exercise. If at any time you feel pain during any type of exercise, stop and rest.
Hey crew, I'm Alexis and this is Your Priority One Fitness Show. Welcome back. So you can see today we are up on our foots. You may not want to be up on your feet. All of the upper body exercises we do together today can be done sitting down. And if you've hung out with us before, then you know well that we want a hard seated chair. We want to stay away from those soft chairs. They don't favor exercise because they tend to let the hips sink and the spine goes out of whack and it's hard to keep your posture. If it's what you have, use what you have, but I strongly suggest running into the kitchen. Don't run, but heading into the kitchen, grabbing a hard-seated chair or a folding chair works really well. So welcome back, George, this season. He's been with us the entire season. So we're going to put George to work today, and I am going to spend our time together pointing out a few key features about posture, performance, movement, and where we're placing our weight in the feet. So I'm going to give you a lot of feedback while George does all the work for us. Isn't that nice of him? So first and foremost, ladies and gents, let's spend a few minutes together warming up. We're going to start with our march, and you can hear the song behind me. We're not going to keep to the rhythm with all of our exercises today, but for now, we're just doing a quick little march. We're not looking to raise the knees up too much, but we do want to make sure that as we march, we touch the heels down and down and down, and start those arms going if you can. If you can find the arms, the elbow goes back and back and back. As the elbow goes back and behind the body a little bit, we're warming the shoulder. We're going to walk it up. Let's take it up. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it home. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and take it up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it home. 4, 3, 2. One more time to the front. 4, 3, 2, and back we go. And 4, 3, 2, 1, and keep it here. And keep it here. And 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest those feet. Okay, now we're going to take it side to side. It doesn't matter which side is which, but if we've spoken before, if you've heard me chatting about this before, when we march, we think primarily about the front and back of the leg. And as we step side to side, again, we're not worried about our rhythm. All we're looking to do is take a side reach of the tap here so that we can warm the outside of the leg, the outside and inside of the hip. And let's take a few easy steps to the front. Nice and easy. And then when you're ready, take it home. We're just relaxing the arms, nothing too dramatic yet. And let's walk it up. Side tap and side tap and side tap. And bring it home and bring it home. And up we go one more time. And 4 and 3 and 2. Go any direction you like. And take it home. And 3 and 2 and 1. Okay, go ahead and rest for a moment. Now, again, I like to say, if you know me, if we've done this together before, you know you can bring all of your left limbs to our exercise program. We encourage mistakes. We encourage you making it your own. It doesn't all have to be spot on. And you'll see that even here in the studio, here in the television, we're going to make mistakes. It's just the way it works. And not every exercise is right for every person, just like you heard the gentleman say at the beginning of our show. So if something hurts or it doesn't make sense, it's not the day for that. Scrap that exercise. It's just not for you today. Who cares? We are not here to worry about what we don't get done. We're here only to focus on the things we do achieve. That's all that matters. And if you're exercising, then you're already doing more than like 90% of America is getting done today. So let's get moving. Now we're going to spend a few minutes warming up the upper body, and today we'll be using weights. George will be using weights, but you don't have to. Let's think about that. If you want to use weights but you don't have any at home, you might grab a couple of soup cans, you might grab a couple of little water bottles, you might grab some soda cans, or you might do the exercises without weight entirely. You're still getting a great workout. So we're going to step forward out of the boat and onto the dock. We have a little lunge here. Try not to let your knee go past your shoelaces. Make sure you can wiggle your toes, and your weight is in the center of the front foot. So when you're ready, we lean into that front heel, and we're going to think about the biceps right here. We're going to warm the shoulder as we reach up to our shelf. We're going to come back to the shoulder and return to our hip. And weight in the center of the front foot, push up to your shelf, keep your elbows narrow, and return to your hip. We contract the bicep, we use the shoulder and the chest, we keep the pace nice and slow, and we return to the hip. We contract, and then we push, we keep the shoulders low, and back up we go. 3, push those shoulders, bring them home, and take it down. And biceps, shoulder, chest, and back, and 2. One more. We curl and we push. We bring it home. We rest the arms. Push through your heel and push yourself out to sea. The other side now. And we're lunging on the other leg. And you can see George and I taking a moment to wiggle it into place. Put your weight in the center of the front foot. Make sure you wiggle those toes so that you know where your weight is. And now to the back of the body. Just the opposite of what we did a moment ago. The back of the shoulder and the back of the upper arm, along with some of those good old back muscles that are hiding back there. So pick up your suitcases, keep your elbows narrow. Extend your arm back and behind you. Squeeze the back of the upper arm. Bring only your hands in, and then set your bags down. The elbows go up and back. We lock them straight. We retract the hands, and we set the bags down. Keep it narrow, keep it narrow, keep it narrow, and set them down. The elbows raise up. We use the back of the arm. We retract the hands, and we have 4 to go. Elbows up and out and in. Set your bags down. Use the shoulder. Use the back of the arm. Retract, and 3. Elbows up. Lock it tight. Bring it home, and set it down. Let's extend and hold right here. Squeeze the back of your upper arm, shoulders low. You got a 3, you got a 2, you got a 1, you are done. Rest. Okay, back to your parallel feet. Now you'll notice that when we step out of the lunge, we push through the heel as if we're pushing our boat out to sea. That's a critical piece. We don't want to push through the toes. There are so many rules, we're not going to get it all right, but I'm going to try and give you as much as I can think of. The more we know about the body, the more we can find those rules within ourselves, the safer we'll be, the more fluid our exercises will be. We'll be happy we're doing it. It's worth paying attention to the things that I'm spilling out to you. So hopefully you catch a few. So now let's think about the shoulders and the chest. We're going to bring the arms up to the side. Now, you might have noticed again, George and I wiggled it into place. We're finding our weight in the center of our feet. Our knees are relaxed and our hips are relaxed. Technically, this is the bar stool position. The hips are slightly behind you, and you might imagine the bar stool being right below your rear and at the back of your leg. Keep the weight in the center of the foots, kids. Wiggle them toes. And we're going to think about bringing the arms up to the side. You're coming up to shoulder height. You're going to turn those palms and bring them in to squeeze the chest. You're going to return to your T position and back down to your hips. And shoulder height. Palms come in for the chest. Palms turn down, and we return to the hip. And shoulder height. Palms turn in. Palms turn down, and release. 4 more. Shoulder height. Squeeze the chest, and release. And down. And 3. Squeeze the chest. Use the shoulders and release. Hold 2. You're coming in. You're going out. You're setting it down. Bring them in and squeeze the ball. Shoulders are low. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, kids. Here's your chance. You can listen to my hot air. George is going to grab his weights. If you're using weights, great. We don't need to use heavy weights. It's not about that. We're here for functional fitness. We're not looking to be Olympians. That is not our goal together. I'm pretty sure that's not your goal at home either. But of course, if it is your goal, contact me because I can help you with that. However, we're looking to stay functionally fit within our average everyday life, just making life a little more comfortable. We're not going gangbusters. Now, George is using 2-pound weights. That may sound like a lot for some folks who've never raised a weight before, but that's okay. You don't have to use 2 pounds. You don't have to use any weight. Making sure that we can perform these exercises with control. It is so important to be able to control the entire set of 10 or 12 repetitions. So if at any time you're using a weight and you feel like you're doing this, or you're doing this, and you're putting your back into it, it's a good time to take a break. That weight might be just a little too heavy for some of those joints. Let's put George to work. You ready? You ready? You ready? He's ready. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and trade places with George. He's going to come out here into the center. I'm going to bring him up right about there so he's looking at you. Here's looking at you, kid. So, one thing he is going to show us today is a little bit of left-right brain activity. So George is going to go ahead and try an alternating lunge. Now, before he brings the weights into play, he's going to show us that lunge again. He's going to step out of the boat and onto the dock, and he's going to push his weight through the heel. And he's going to step out of the boat and onto the dock, and he's going to push his weight through the heel. Let's practice that together. You don't have to hold your weights. George is holding them because he's getting ready to work. But let's try just the lunge, 3 lunges. We land the heel, and we push back through. We land the heel, and we push back through. Now, we have 2 more. Now, George has a nice long lunge, and 2, but you don't have to. I'm doing a little step. We have 1, and back, and 1, and rest. Now, we're going to ask George to go ahead and bring the arms into that game. So he's going to do some bicep curls. Now, keep in mind, you can do these from the chair. You can do them standing. You don't need to do any of the leg exercises if your balance is off. You can do only the upper body exercises and still get a great workout. So we're going to ask George to step it up a notch, and he's going to do a lunge with an alternating bicep curl. So as he does so, we see, I'm going to bring him back. We're going to see that he has 1 right limb and 1 left limb. And as he curls, he's going to keep that elbow close to the waist and try not to allow it to migrate. So when you're ready, pick up with him as he steps forward, and he steps and curls, and then he pushes the boat out to sea. And then he's going to step and curl and boat out to sea. And he's going to go through this at a methodical pace and back with slow, controlled motions and back. The elbow stays low and close. He has 10. The elbow stays low and close. He's going to land that heel, 9, and his shoulders stay over the hips, 9. He's keeping that good posture for 8, and push back through the heel, and 8, and back through the heel. Shoulders over the hips, and 7. Elbow low and close, and 7. Keep your eyes on us, and 6. And he pulls, and he releases, and he pulls through the arm, and he pushes through the heel, and he pulls through the arm, and he pushes through the heel. He's going to show us 4, and back, and 3.5, and back. He's using the bicep, and 3. He's using the bicep, and 3. And he lands the heel for 2, and he lands the heel for 2. He's going to hold this one. Here it comes. And now he's going to go into his teacup. Now, when we take a look at the teacup, he has a 90-degree elbow and that wrist is flat. 3, 2, 1. Back he goes. Now to the other side. And again, nice straight wrist. Weight in the center of the front foot and the heel. Shoulders over the hips. 3, 2, 1. Step out of it. Rest. Up. It's not always perfect. So that was a perfect example when George came out of that second step. It's a perfect example that the 2 sides of the body never operate exactly the same way. One side of you will always be easier than the other. It's just the way we're wired. So when you find those moments, just accept that that's the reality. No matter how fit you are, it's just the way the body goes. So let's go ahead and go into another one. We just did the front of the body, the upper arm. So now I'm going to ask George to show us something in the back of the body. He's going to step into a stationary lunge, but just kind of a tiny guy here. He's going to stagger those legs. And this will show you that any forward step is a lunge. Now, George exercises with me all of the time, so when he takes these monstrous lunges, it's comfortable for him. He knows what to do. He can control that. But he also knows that on a bad day, he could do just a little tiny lunge. So if your balance is off, you take just a little step and you push your boat out. So we're going to keep him in this smaller lunge step. Any step forward is a lunge. Any step that shifts the weight to the heel and pushes back is a lunge. George stays stationary for us. Now, what we're going to see is that when he's stationary, I'll get on the same foot, he's going to lean just a little through his hip because he's going to pull his lawnmower cords. So we see him set up. Now he's going to bring those arms down in front of the hips. His elbows come swiftly past the waist. And he's going to reach, and you see him pull with intention and then release with control. He pulls with intention, and he keeps his low back nice and steady and down in front of the hip. Shoulders over the hips, and 3, 2, 1. Power, low back steady. Power, and shoulders low. And pull, and 3, 2, 1. 5, and 3, 2, 1, 4. Elbows close, and 3 more, and 3, 2, 1, 2. And pull it back and keep those elbows narrow. Notice his shoulder is low, his elbows are narrow, and his wrist is straight. Wiggly toes, even though you can't see him in those boots, but he's balanced in the center of the foot. 3, 2, 1. Rest those arms, and then the legs. We always let the weight release, and then we come out of it. So we try not to get everything out of it all at one time. You rest the upper body and the arms, you gain control back in the upper bod, and then push your boat out to sea. Let's put him on the other leg now. And if you don't remember which leg was which, we're not keeping tabs. So if you're on the same leg because you forgot where you were, bigger fish to fry. Don't worry about it. So now he's stationary on the opposite side, and again, he's given us just a small lunge. Why are we using these lunges? What we're looking to do is create a little sense of imbalance within the core. It's forcing George to recruit more of his waist muscles, more of his abdominal section to keep steady because he doesn't want to teeter-totter. But if you were having a day where you just didn't feel that steady, parallel feet, parallel feet. Keep those feet hip-width apart. Never together below the spine. You're wider at the top and narrow at the bottom. It's always better to have a wider base of support when you're standing on 2 feet. So if you need to, take them out to shoulder width. That's okay. But wider is better than too narrow. So now we've looked at George holding on to that stance. We know his weight is in the center of the foot. He's going to show us reciprocating shoulders, or what I like to call tick-tock. So his tick-tock is going to come out to the side, and then the other one is going to come out to the side. So let's take a quick peek. I'm going to ask him to bring those arms down. He doesn't know where I'm going, especially when I'm behind him. That doesn't help. So one thing I'd like you to focus on when you're taking a look at George doing these exercises, note his waist is completely steady. He doesn't lean side to side. So if you find that you have the desire to lean through your waist as you're performing these shoulder exercises, it's a good time to take a break, or it may be a good time to bring those feet back to parallel. We want that waist to stay steady. So it doesn't matter what arm begins. We're going to ask George to start on his right. So he brings the right up to shoulder height, and then he switches. As the right goes down, the left comes up. And slow and controlled. We can see slow and controlled. And 3, 2, 1, 10. 3, 2, 1, 10. 3, 2, 1, 9. And 3, 2, 1, 9. And 3, 2, 1, 8. And shoulder height 8. And elbow long 7, but not locked 7. Elbow relaxed 6. And wrist is straight 6. Palms are down 5. 3, 2, 1, 5. 3, 2, 1, 4. Waist steady 4. He has 3 more. Control the switch 3. Weight in the center of the front foot 2. In the center of the front foot 2. He's going to hold. Here it comes. Now let's take a look at George. He's got ears over the shoulder. Shoulder is level. Wrist is square. 3, 2, 1. Back to the hip and up on the other side. Shoulder is low. Elbow relaxed. Wrist is square. 3, 2, rest. Okay, we're going to let George step out of it and shake it off. He's going to set the weights down for just a moment. And then he's going to shake it off, and he's coming back with only 1 weight. So he knows what I mean when I say coming back with 1 weight. It sounds like things are about to get easier. How bad can 1 weight be? So this is a little tougher. This is a little tougher. So if it's not for you, we already know. Don't worry about it. Or you could try and perform the motion without the weight. You don't need the weight. So George is going to use, I'm going to turn him around. Go ahead and turn it back toward us, George. We're going to take a look, and George is going to use these muscles right here in between the shoulder blades. We're looking to keep his shoulders low, and he's going to squeeze. Go ahead and bring him back for me. He's going to squeeze this section right here. Okay, let's put him into motion. So go ahead and flip it back. I'm going to turn him back around. And I'm going to have him do half of them on 1 leg, meaning he's going to hold his lunge, and then he's going to do half of them on the other leg. So just as we see, wiggle it into place. You'd give it all a little shake to make sure that your weight is in the center of the front foot, your toes are wiggly, your knee never goes past your shoelaces. Put the weight, if you're using it, in either hand. It doesn't matter which. Now go ahead and bring those arms out in front of you. Go ahead and follow George. Note his low shoulder. He brings the elbow back. He squeezes that section. He passes the weight to the other hand, and he squeezes the shoulder blades around the spine. And he pulls, low back steady, and 3, 2, 1, and he pulls, and 3, 2, 1. Now note that George changed the position of the weight, which is just fine. He has injuries that force him to do that. You can keep the weight flat, or you can hold it as he is and pull. And as he does these, I'm going to speak a little bit about his wrist. He has 2 more on this side. 2. Keep your wrist straight. Wrist is straight, 2. And wrist is straight, 2. He's got 1 more. The palms are down, 1. And he's going to pass, and he's going to rest. Okay, now you notice that George had that weight vertically. He was holding it vertically. He has some hand injuries that preclude him from holding onto it with that parallel position. That's okay, because he's still keeping his body in form. So let's take a look at his form again. Let's take a look on the other side. He's stepping onto the boat, onto the dock, out of the boat and onto the dock. Weight in the center front foot. He's going to get right back into position with those arms in front. And we're going to work that section. So he switched feet in order to challenge the balance on both sides of the bod. Now, I'm going to talk about his posture. Go ahead and start, my friend. Shoulders are low, and then he's going to pass the weight. The elbows come back to 90 degrees, and he passes the weight. The elbows come back to 90 degrees, and he passes the weight. The wrists are straight, and 3, 2, 1, wrists are straight, and 3, 2, 1, palms are down, and keep those shoulders low, and pull. Control the pass, and pull. Control the pass, and pull. He's going to do his best to 3. 3, and shoulders low, and 3. Low back steady, and 2. Eyes on the road, and 2. We're going to ask him to hold this one. He's going to squeeze like he's holding a pencil between the shoulder blades. 90 degrees, low shoulder, straight wrist. 3, 2, pass the weight to the other hand, and same thing over here. Ears over the shoulder. Shoulder is low, elbow is elevated, wrist is straight. 3, 2, he rests the arms first, and then he pushes the boat out to sea. Okay, he's picking up some 2 weights now. Here they come. He's back to 2 weights. Now we're going to come to the front of the bod for the shoulders, and we're going to look at, again, keeping the waist steady. We're going to ask George to do half of his set on one leg and then half of his set on the other. So when you're ready, go ahead and step out of your boat, kid, and onto the dock. Now, what George is looking to do is raise one arm up to shoulder height, and then he's going to return all the way back down to the hip. We're not going to tick-tock here. We're going to go ahead and raise up, and we are still looking to keep the waist steady. So please avoid the desire to swing through your waist and swing through your waist. Keep the rectangle that is the 2 shoulders and the 2 hip bones facing forward. That rectangle right here keeps facing us. Weight in center front foot, eyes on George, and he's going to raise either arm up to shoulder height, and then he's going to return to his hip and shoulder height. Oh, look at him making it tough for us. Look at him. He's making it hard. I like your challenge, kid. We're going to make it easy for you at home. Well, not easy, but our version of easy. He's raising one up to shoulder height when he's ready. He finds his form, and then he's going to return all the way down to the hip. And then the other one's going to come up. Now you can see as George does this, you can feel where there might be the tendency to move through your waist and try and swing. If you have the desire to swing through the waist, the weight's a little too heavy. And 3, 2, 1. He comes up with power and he lowers to the hip with control. His range of motion is from shoulder to hip and shoulder and back to the hip. He's doing 3 more and 3, 2, 1 with intent and control. He's up for 2, 3, 2, 1. And 2, and return to the hip, and hold tight. 3, 2, return to the hip. He's going to isolate that shoulder muscle on the left. Up he goes, and 3, 2, rest your arms, push your boat out to sea. On the other side now, kids, we're almost home. This is our last one. We've done front, side, and back of the bod. So he's on the center of that foot, and he's going to use either arm. He's going to repeat that exercise. Nothing changes. Shoulder height when you're ready, friends. Up you go. Shoulder height and returning to the hip, and shoulder height and returning to the hip. The arm is long, but the elbow is relaxed. The wrists are straight, and you see him pull with power. Up with power, and he returns with control. He's up with power, and he returns with control. Shoulder height are lower, and the low back is steady. Shoulder height are lower, and the low back is steady. We're going to have him do 2 more and release, and 2 more. And we're going to ask him to hold one more time. And 5, 4, 3, 2, other side when you're ready, sir. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and arms first and legs second. All right, kids, we are down to the wire. You've made it. We did some back of the body work, we did some front of the body work, and we did some good side work, and what else? We added in the legs. So George is going to take a breather. He's going to put those weights down. And we thank him for working so hard. Doesn't he make us look good? Okay, everybody, we're going to stretch. We're almost out of here. You can tell when George doesn't have weights, everyone's work is done. Isn't that nice? All right, he and I are going to stagger so we're not whacking each other here, and we're going to bring those hands up. We have parallel feet, everything up and tall, and we're going to put a little motion into the bod to keep it warm. Bring your palms up, and we're going to open up those lungs. We're going to turn your palms down and gently separate your shoulder blades. Smooth motion, palms up and open the chest muscles. Palms down and separate your shoulder blades. Keep your weight in the center of your feet as we stretch and breathe our way out of here. And palms down, separate the shoulders. We do this to stretch the muscles, but also to keep them nice and warm. And we're going to inhale here, and we're going to exhale and slightly round the shoulders. Thank you so much for coming out today and playing along with us, ladies and gents. As I say every show, it's because we're in this television that or because you're outside of the television that we're in here. Something like that, my friends. Thank you. I'm Alexis. This is your Priority One show. We thank George for working so hard today. You can find us on video at PriorityOne.com. Oh, excuse me. We're US. What am I doing? I'm all over the place, friends. PriorityOne.us. Once again, get your DVD at PriorityOne.us. And with any luck, we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Thank you for coming out today, my friends. We'll see you there. Breathing. And we exhale. And we keep breathing. And we inhale. You can stop doing your stretches anytime. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm Alexis. That's PriorityOne.us. Thanks for keeping us here.
Not every exercise is suitable for every person. Be sure to consult with your physician before starting, stopping, or changing an exercise program. All participants of this or any exercise program assume the inherent risk of injury due to exercise. If at any time you feel pain during any type of exercise, stop and rest.